the problem no one could fix. The Dragon Queen stood in silence at the edge of the royal nursery. The room was warm, filled with soft golden light and the quiet hum of ancient machines. Crystal walls showed the stars outside, but no one was looking at them. Every eye was on the two small shapes lying in the center of the room. The twins. They were the Dragon Queen's children, her only heirs, born under a rare twin star alignment. They were supposed to be strong, loud, and full of fire. But now, they were quiet. Two tiny dragon bodies rested on silk cushions. Their wings were folded tight. Their eyes were half open, dull instead of bright. Plates of the finest food from across the galaxy sat untouched beside them. The twins had refused to eat for 7 days. The best healers had tried everything. Energy scans, ancient dragon magic, alien medicine, sacred songs passed down for thousands of years. Nothing worked. "They are not sick," said the chief healer, his voice low and careful. "Their bodies are healthy." "Then why do they grow weaker?" the Dragon Queen asked. No one answered. The room was filled with important beings, dragon elders with long horns, scientists in silver armor, guards holding glowing spears. All powerful, all respected, and all helpless. The Dragon Queen's claws curled slowly at her side. She had ruled star systems. She had ended wars with a single command. Entire planets feared her name, but she could not make her children eat. Every time food was brought close, the twins turned their heads away. Sometimes they pushed the bowls aside with weak paws. Sometimes they simply stared at the ceiling, bored and distant, as if the world no longer interested them. Some whispered it was a curse. Others said the twins rejected dragon life itself. No one dared say these things out loud near the queen. She looked down at her children. Their chests rose and fell slowly. Too slowly. Her fire felt cold. Outside the nursery, life in the palace continued, but quieter. Dragons spoke in whispers. Servants walked carefully. Even the great halls felt heavy, as if the palace itself was holding its breath. And far from the royal chambers, in a long empty corridor, a human pushed a cleaning cart across the floor. His name did not matter to the palace. He was a janitor. He wore plain clothes. No armor. No rank marks. Just gloves, a tool belt, and tired shoes. His job was simple. Clean what others ignored. Floors. Walls. Corners no one saw. Humans were rare in the Dragon Queen's empire. Allowed only for basic work. Never trusted. Never respected. The janitor had been in the palace for 3 years. Long enough to learn when to stay quiet. Long enough to notice things others missed. As he cleaned near a side corridor, he heard soft sounds drifting from behind sealed doors. Not roars. Not alarms. Small sounds. Almost like whimpers. He paused. Humans were not allowed near the royal nursery. Everyone knew that. Guards stood watch day and night. Even dragons needed permission. The janitor should have kept walking. Instead, he slowed his cart. He had learned something in his life. When a place full of power becomes quiet, something is wrong. Later that day, the Dragon Queen returned to the nursery alone. She dismissed the guards, dismissed the healers. She did not want advice. She did not want reports. She wanted to sit with her children. She lowered herself beside them, her massive form careful and gentle. One claw reached out, stopping just short of touching them. "Eat," she whispered, her voice softer than the stars outside. "Please." One twin opened an eye, looked at the food, looked away. The other yawned, clearly bored. The queen closed her eyes. For the first time in centuries, she felt fear. That night, while the palace slept, the janitor was given a new task. Clean a restricted hallway near the royal wing, a place usually off limits. He pushed his cart quietly, lights dimmed. As he worked, a door slid open ahead of him. For just a moment, he saw inside. 2 small dragons, surrounded by untouched food, surrounded by silence. The janitor stopped. He did not see dying creatures. He saw children. Children trapped in a room where everything was serious, quiet, and heavy. No laughter, no movement, no fun. He smiled slightly, without realizing it. Before the door closed again, one of the twins turned its head. Its eyes met the humans. Brightened just a little. The door sealed shut. The janitor stood there, heart beating faster. No alarm sounded. No guard shouted. But somewhere deep in the palace, something had changed. Because for the first time since the twins stopped eating, someone had looked at them and seen the real problem. A human where he shouldn't be. The next morning, the Dragon Palace felt different. The silence was heavier than before. Guards stood straighter. Elders spoke less. Even the air inside the crystal halls felt tense, as if the palace itself was waiting for bad news. Inside the royal nursery, the twins had not eaten again. The bowls were still full. The healers ran their scans one more time. Lights flashed across the twins' small bodies. Numbers filled the air. Ancient symbols glowed and faded. Nothing changed. They are losing strength, a scientist said quietly. How long? The Dragon Queen asked. Days, maybe less. The room froze. The Dragon Queen turned away, so no one could see her face. Her wings trembled slightly. She had faced enemies with star-destroying weapons. She had stood alone against entire fleets. But this enemy had no shape, no name, no way to fight it. Leave us, she said. Everyone obeyed. All except the guards. Outside the nursery, the janitor was pushing his cart again. He had not slept well. The image of the twins stayed in his mind. Their empty eyes. The untouched food. Children, he thought again. Not heirs. Not symbols. Just kids. As he cleaned the polished floor, a guard stopped him. The guard said sharply. New orders. The janitor looked up calmly. Clean the inner service path near the royal nursery, the guard said. Do not stop. Do not look inside. The janitor nodded. Yes, sir. The guard did not notice the slight tension in the human's shoulders. The inner service path was narrow and dim. It ran behind the walls of the nursery. Built long ago, so servants could move without being seen. As the janitor worked, soft sounds reached him again. A weak thump. A small, frustrated growl. Then nothing. He paused his cart. He shouldn't. He knew that. Humans who broke rules here did not get warnings. Still, he leaned closer to the wall. Through a small crystal vent, he could see inside. The twins were awake. One pushed a bowl away with its nose. The other kicked its legs, clearly annoyed. Not tired. Not sick. Bored. The janitor frowned. He had seen this before. On human worlds. In shelters. In hospitals. Kids who stopped caring. Not because they were dying. Because they felt trapped. A guard's voice echoed from behind. Move. The janitor jumped slightly and pushed his cart forward. But the idea stayed with him. Later that cycle, during a quiet shift change, something unexpected happened. One of the twins let out a sharp cry. Alarms sounded instantly. Guards rushed in. Healers followed. The Dragon Queen arrived seconds later, eyes blazing with fear. What happened? She demanded. The twin rejected nourishment again, a healer said. Its energy dropped suddenly. The queen moved closer, her massive shadow covering the small form. Try again, she ordered. They did. The bowl was brought closer. The twin turned away. The queen's claws dug into the floor. And then, a soft sound came from the doorway. A small rolling noise. Everyone froze. The janitor's cleaning orb had slipped from his cart and rolled gently across the nursery floor. It spun, glowed softly, made a quiet humming sound. The twins stopped moving. Both heads turned. Eyes followed the orb as it rolled slow, then bumped into the wall. The janitor held his breath. One twin lifted its head. The other let out a small, excited chirp. Then, something no one had seen in days. They crawled forward, just a little. The room went silent. The orb rolled again, this time bouncing lightly. The twins followed it with clear interest. A healer whispered, "They're focused." A guard stepped forward angrily. "Human, you are not." "Stop," the Dragon Queen said. Her voice was calm. Too calm. The janitor slowly raised his hands. "I'm sorry," he said. It fell. The queen did not answer. Her eyes were locked on her children. One twin bumped the food bowl by accident while following the orb. A piece of food stuck to its claw. It licked the claw without thinking. Everyone gasped. The twin paused, then licked again. The queen's breath caught. The other twin copied the movement. Not much, but enough. The janitor did not smile. He did not move. He simply watched. The orb rolled once more. The twins followed. Another bite. Small, weak, but real. The silence broke as guards grabbed the janitor. "You dare interfere?" one shouted. "Wait," the Dragon Queen said again. She stood slowly and turned toward the human. The guards froze. "You," she said. "Look at me." The janitor did. For the first time, a human met the Dragon Queen's eyes without fear. "Why do they react?" she asked. The janitor swallowed. "They're not refusing food," he said carefully. "They're refusing the room." The elders murmured. The Queen's eyes narrowed. "Explain," she said. The janitor took a breath. "They don't need more power," he said. "They need a reason." The Queen stared at him. Outside, thunder rolled across the stars. Inside the nursery, the twins watched the human, waiting. And for the first time, the Dragon Queen did not order the human removed. She ordered him closer. The game no dragon dared to play. The room stayed silent long after the Dragon Queen ordered the human closer. No one moved. The guards looked confused. The elders looked angry. The healers looked afraid. A human did not walk toward the Dragon Queen. Human stayed back. But the janitor stepped forward. Slow, careful, hands open. Every step echoed like a mistake. The twins watched him closely. Their eyes followed his movement with clear interest. When he stopped, they made a small, disappointed sound. The Dragon Queen noticed. That alone made her heart pound. "You say they need a reason," the Queen said. Her voice was calm, but fire moved beneath it. "Then give me one." The janitor swallowed. "I can try," he said, "but if I'm wrong, stop me." The elders hissed softly. "A human cannot understand dragon hatchlings," one elder said. "This is foolish." The Queen did not look at the elder. "All of you have tried," she said, "and they still fade." Her gaze returned to the janitor. "Begin." The guard stepped back, weapons still glowing. The janitor knelt on the floor, lowering himself to the twins' level. He moved slowly, like someone approaching nervous animals. He rolled the cleaning orb between his hands. "This is a game," he said softly, not to the dragons around him, but to the twins. They tilted their heads. The janitor placed a small piece of food on the floor. He tapped the orb once. It glowed. "If you touch the food," he said, "the light comes back." The elders scoffed. The janitor rolled the orb gently. One twin stared. The other sniffed the food. No movement. The janitor waited. He did not push. He did not command. Seconds passed. Then the smaller twin stepped forward and poked the food. The orb lit up. A soft chime echoed through the room. The twins jumped in surprise, then laughed. A real laugh. The room froze. The janitor rolled the orb again. Another piece of food. The twins moved faster this time. Touch. Light. Chime. Another bite. The Dragon Queen felt something crack inside her chest. They were playing. Not eating because they were ordered. Eating because it mattered to them. The janitor smiled slightly. The guards whispered to each other. One elder stepped forward angrily. "This is disrespect. Hatchlings of royal blood reduced to..." "Silence," the Queen said. Her wings spread slightly. Fire hummed through the room. The elder stepped back. The game continued. The janitor changed the rules slowly. Each bite made the light stronger. Each step closer made the sound louder. The twins chased the glow. They bumped into each other. Fell. Got back up. They ate more than they had in days. Then something changed. The larger twin hesitated. Its breathing slowed. The healers stepped forward. "Energy spike," one said. Then drop. The janitor froze. He saw it instantly. Too much. Too fast. He rolled the orb away and sat back. "No more," he said gently. The twins protested with small, angry noises. The janitor laughed softly. "That's how games work. You stop before you get tired." The Dragon Queen watched closely. This human was not pushing. He was protecting. The healers scanned again. "Their levels are stable," one said in shock. "Improving." The Queen turned to the janitor. "You stopped," she said. "Why?" "Because winning isn't the goal," he answered. "Feeling safe is." The Queen said nothing, but something ancient shifted in her eyes. Suddenly, the doors slammed open. An elder council member stormed in, horns glowing red. "This has gone too far," the elder roared. "That human touches the future of dragonkind." Guards raised their weapons. The twins sensed the change. They pressed close to the janitor's legs. The room held its breath. The Dragon Queen stepped forward. "You will stand down," she said. "This human is interfering with destiny," the elder snapped. "No," the queen replied. "He is saving it." She looked down at her children. They were full, tired, happy. She looked back at the elder. "If you remove him," she said quietly, "you answer to me." The elder hesitated. No one challenged the Dragon Queen, but hatred burned in his eyes. "This is not over," he said. He left. The janitor remained kneeling. "I don't belong here," he said quietly. The queen walked to him. "You do now," she said. She looked at the twins, who had fallen asleep against the human's side. "Stay," she ordered, "for tonight." The janitor nodded, heart racing. Outside the nursery, shadows moved. Some dragons watched with anger, some with fear, and some with wonder, because a human had done what dragon power could not, and the galaxy was about to notice. When the palace turned against the human, the palace did not sleep that night. Whispers moved through the crystal halls faster than light. Dragons gathered in small groups, speaking in low voices. Eyes followed every shadow. A human had touched the Dragon Queen's twins. A human had succeeded. That alone was enough to shake an empire. Inside the royal nursery, the janitor sat on the floor with his back against the wall. The twins slept beside him, their small bodies warm, their breathing steady. For the first time in many days, they were full. The Dragon Queen stood nearby, watching silently. She had not left. She did not trust the night. Outside the door, guards doubled their watch. Still, danger found a way. In the Elder Council chamber, fire burned bright. "They are breaking tradition," one elder said. "They are weakening us," another hissed. "A human must not shape dragon heirs," a third growled. The elder with red glowing horns slammed his staff into the floor. "This ends now," he said, "before dragons forget who they are." A plan formed in shadows. Back in the nursery, the janitor shifted slightly. He had learned long ago how to feel danger before it arrived. The twins stirred. Their eyes opened. They sensed it too. The lights in the room flickered. A low hum filled the air. The Dragon Queen's head snapped up. "Shields," she ordered. Too late. The door seals hissed and locked. The room darkened. A sharp pain hit the janitor's neck. He collapsed. The twins screamed. The sound was small, but it cut deep. The Dragon Queen roared. Fire exploded from her throat, slamming into the locked doors. The walls shook. "Open them," she commanded. No response. Outside, elders watched from control chamber. "Now," one said. Inside the nursery, gravity shifted. The twins slid across the floor toward the center. The janitor lay still. The Dragon Queen moved fast, grabbing her children and pulling them close. "What have you done?" she demanded. A voice echoed through the chamber. "For the future of dragonkind," the elder said. "The human influence ends tonight." The janitor's fingers twitched. He forced his eyes open. His head hurt. His vision blurred. He saw the twins shaking, crying. He pushed himself up. Every muscle screamed. The Dragon Queen looked down at him in shock. "You should be unconscious," she said. "I've had worse," he muttered. The elders activated another pulse. Pain hit the room. The twins cried louder. The janitor crawled forward without thinking. He placed himself between the twins and the center of the room. "No," he said. "Stop." The elders laughed. "You are nothing," the voice said. The janitor looked up. "I know," he said. "That's why this works." He pulled the cleaning orb from his belt. Its light flickered weakly. He rolled it gently toward the twins. The twins focused on it instantly. Their crying slowed. The janitor spoke through pain. "Remember the game," he said softly. "Follow the light." The elders increased the pulse. The orb dimmed. The janitor slammed his hand on the floor. "Hey," he shouted. "Eyes on me." The twins looked at him. He smiled, tired, shaky but real. "You're winning," he said. "Don't quit now." Something ancient stirred. The twins' scales glowed faintly. The energy in the room changed. The elders froze. "What is happening?" one shouted. The Dragon Queen felt it too. Not dragon fire. Something different. Something shared. The twins stood. Together. Their glow strengthened. The control system sparked. Shields failed. The doors burst open. Guards rushed in. The elders shouted orders, but the systems went dark. The nursery lights returned. The pulse stopped. Silence. The janitor collapsed again. The Dragon Queen caught him before he hit the floor. She stared at him in disbelief. "You shielded them," she said. He smiled weakly. "They needed someone smaller than them," he whispered. The twins crawled toward him and pressed against his chest. Protective. Fierce. The Dragon Queen stood slowly. Her wings spread fully. Fire rolled through the palace. "Arrest the elders," she commanded. Guards did not hesitate. The palace shook as power shifted. The Dragon Queen looked down at the human in her arms. "You will not be touched again," she said. "By anyone." The janitor closed his eyes. Outside, dragons knelt. Because tonight, a human did not just save dragon heirs. He stood between power and cruelty, and the palace would never forget it. The day the human was taken away, the palace woke under fire-red skies. Not from war, from anger. News of the elders' arrest spread across the dragon empire in hours. Some dragons cheered in silence. Others burned with rage. Tradition had been broken, and many did not forgive easily. At the center of it all was one truth that made dragons uncomfortable. A human had become important. Inside the medical wing, the janitor lay on a narrow bed. White lights hovered above him. Machines hummed softly. He was alive. Barely. The attack had damaged his nerves. His body shook when he tried to move. Pain came in waves, sharp and deep. Still, his first words were not about himself. "The twins?" he asked weakly. A healer hesitated. "They're stable." Relief washed over his face. In the royal nursery, the twins waited. They did not understand politics. They did not know what elders were. They only knew one thing. The human was gone. Food was placed before them. They did not touch it. Guards watched nervously as bowls went untouched again. "No," one whispered. "Not again." The Dragon Queen arrived moments later. She saw the bowls. She felt the fear return. The twins paced. They made low, unhappy sounds. They looked toward the door again and again. "He should be here," the queen whispered. She turned sharply. "Bring him," she ordered. The guard exchanged looks. One stepped forward. "Your Majesty, the council has issued an emergency decree." The queen's eyes burned. "What decree?" "The human is to be removed from the palace." Immediately, silence fell. "You dare," she said slowly. "They claim his presence is dangerous," the guard said carefully. "That the twins depend on him too much." The queen's claws dug into the floor. "That was the point," she said. Before she could speak again, alarms sounded. This time, not from a nursery. From the medical wing. The janitor was being moved. Against orders. Security doors slammed shut across the palace. Armed dragon guards surrounded the medical wing. The janitor tried to sit up. "What's happening?" he asked. A guard avoided his eyes. "You are being relocated," the guard said. "For your own safety." "That's a lie," the janitor said quietly. The guard said nothing. As they lifted the bed, the janitor felt it. Something was wrong. Far away, the twins screamed. The sound echoed through the palace like a blade. The janitor froze. "That's them," he said. "They need—" The door sealed. The transport platform activated. The janitor's heart pounded. "No," he said. "Don't do this." The platform rose. In the nursery, the twins breathed fire for the first time. Uncontrolled. Raw. The flames scorched the air. Guards backed away in fear. The Dragon Queen rushed in. "Stop," she commanded gently. The twins did not listen. They were not angry. They were afraid. "They think he's gone," a healer whispered. The queen's eyes widened. Across the palace, the janitor felt something pull at him. Not physical, emotional, like hands reaching through space. He grabbed the edge of the platform. "Turn back," he shouted. "You don't understand." The platform sped up. The Elder Council watched from control chamber. "This is necessary," one said. "Dragons must not bond like this." "They will recover," another added. "They always do." Then the screens flickered. Energy surged. "What is that?" one elder shouted. In the nursery, the twins stood side by side. Their scales glowed bright gold. Not fire, not magic. Something new. The queen felt it hit her like a wave. A bond, not ownership. Trust. The twins roared together. The palace shook. Systems failed. The transport platform stalled midair. The janitor collapsed as pain shot through him, but he smiled. "They're calling," he whispered. Guards panicked. "The twins are destabilizing the core," someone yelled. The Dragon Queen spread her wings. "No," she said. "They are choosing." She turned toward the control chamber. "Bring him back," she commanded. "Now." The elders hesitated. The palace shook again. Cracks formed in the crystal walls. The twins cried out. That was enough. The transport reversed. The janitor's bed slammed back into the medical wing. Doors burst open. The Dragon Queen stormed in. She looked down at the human. "You will not be taken," she said. "Not while I rule." The janitor's voice was weak. "They'll try again," he said. "I know," she replied. She lifted him gently. "Then they will answer to me." When the janitor was brought back into the nursery, the twins stopped crying instantly. They crawled toward him, touched his hand. 8. The palace fell silent. Even the elders watched in fear, because this time the truth was clear. The human was not a weakness. He was a bond, and bonds, once broken, could burn empires. The human's one rule. The palace did not feel the same after that day. It felt careful. Dragons still walked the halls, but now they watched the human too. Not with anger, not with hate, with uncertainty. Inside the royal nursery, the janitor sat on the floor again. His body was weak, wrapped in healing bands, but his presence was strong. The twins sat in front of him. Food was placed between them. They looked at the bowls, then at the human. Then they ate. No games, no tricks, just trust. The Dragon Queen watched from a distance. Her heart felt heavy, but steady. For the first time, she understood something painful. Her children did not need a queen. They needed a person. The council was called that night. All elders, all commanders, all voices that shaped the empire. The janitor was brought in, not chained, not guarded. He walked slowly, leaning on a staff. The great chamber fell silent when a human entered. "This is not tradition," one elder said coldly. "No," the Dragon Queen replied. "It is truth." She turned to the janitor. "You have one chance," she said. "One request. After that, you may leave this palace forever if you wish." The chamber waited. The janitor took a breath. "I don't want power," he said. "I don't want rewards." Some elders laughed quietly. "I want one rule," he continued. Silence returned. "For the twins," he said, "and for any dragon who learns from humans." The Dragon Queen nodded. "Speak." The janitor looked around the chamber. "At no time," he said slowly, "will fear be used as a teaching tool." Gasps filled the hall. "That is impossible," an elder snapped. "Fear builds strength. It builds obedience," the janitor replied. "Not wisdom." He looked at the queen. "They learn better when they feel safe." The room burned with tension. "You asked dragons to change," an elder growled. "No," the janitor said. "I asked them to remember." The Dragon Queen felt the words strike deep. She remembered her own childhood, the fear, the fire, the loneliness. She raised her claw. "The rule is accepted," she said. The chamber exploded with noise. "You cannot." "I can," she said sharply. "And I have." Her eyes burned. "Any dragon who harms, frightens, or controls my children through fear will answer to me." Silence fell again. The janitor exhaled slowly. But the danger was not over. That night, shadows moved. Not elders, not guards. Something older. A group of ancient dragons, hidden from the council, watched from deep within the palace. "The human weakens them," one hissed. "We remove the root," another replied. They moved without alarms, without warnings. In the nursery, the twins slept. The janitor sat nearby, telling a quiet story in a low voice. He stopped suddenly. The air felt wrong. The lights dimmed. The Dragon Queen stood instantly. "Shields," she said. Too late. The ancient dragons emerged from the walls themselves. Their presence crushed the air. The janitor stood in front of the twins without thinking. "You should leave," he said calmly. The ancient dragons laughed. "You cannot protect them," one said. "You are small." The janitor nodded. "I know." He knelt and did something no dragon expected. He opened his arms. The twins stepped forward. They pressed against him. The bond flared. Not fire. Not magic. Something deeper. The ancient dragons recoiled. "What is that?" one hissed. The Dragon Queen felt it too. The twins stood tall. Their scales glowed, not gold, but soft white. Calm. Focused. They did not attack. They did not roar. They looked. The ancient dragons felt it. Fear. Not of power. Of connection. The janitor spoke softly. "They choose," he said. "You don't." The twins lifted their heads. And the ancient dragons backed away. Slowly. Silently. Gone. The room breathed again. The Dragon Queen knelt before her children. Before the human. "Stay," she said. "Not as a servant. As family." The janitor smiled. "I already was," he said. Outside the nursery, the empire changed. Because that night, dragons learned something dangerous. That strength without kindness breaks. And that humanity's greatest power was never fire. It was care. The day the galaxy learned fear. The battle did not begin with a warning. It began with silence. Human and enemy fleets faced each other across the stars of Carcinine. Weapons were ready. Shields were high. Thousands of ships waited for a single mistake. Evan stood inside the workshop, watching the battle map. The twin dragons hovered beside him, calm but alert. "This is it," Evan said quietly. The enemy commander broke the silence. "Human caretaker," the voice echoed across all channels. "This is your last chance. Walk away. Dragons are not worth extinction." Evan answered without shouting. "You are wrong," he said. "They are worth everything." The enemy fleet fired first. Space lit up. Beams of energy crossed the void. Missiles streaked like falling stars. Human ships were hit, some destroyed in seconds. The galaxy expected humans to break. They did not. Human pilots adapted fast. Old ships moved in unpredictable patterns. Engineers rerouted power mid-battle. Fighters flew too close, too reckless. Alien targeting systems failed. "Human ships are ignoring survival models," enemy officers shouted. "That's how we win," Evans said. The Dragon Queen entered the battle. She tore through space like living fire. Her wings shattered shields. Her breath turned warships into molten wrecks. The twin dragons followed her. Smaller, faster. They struck together, silver light and red flame in perfect balance. Enemy fighters fell apart under their combined attack. The enemy fleet panicked. "They shouldn't be this strong," the commander screamed. Evan activated the final system of the workshop. A weapon forgotten by history. Not a bomb. A truth. Across every channel, ancient records appeared. Proof of the old betrayal. Proof of the war crimes. Proof that dragons had once protected the galaxy. Silence followed. Some enemy ships powered down. Others fled. The commander refused. "Fire everything," he ordered. The Dragon Queen turned toward the flagship. "This ends now," she said. Evan felt the bond tighten. Together, he whispered. The twin dragons roared. The queen released her full power. The flagship broke apart, not in flames, but in light. The battle ended. Slowly, ships retreated. Weapons powered down. The stars grew quiet again. Evan stepped outside the workshop. Human ships gathered around the planet. Dragons flew among them, not as weapons, as allies. The Dragon Queen landed beside Evan. "You stood," she said, "when the galaxy did not." Evan looked at the people on the screens. Humans cheering, crying, laughing. "We were tired of hiding," he said. The Queen nodded. "Then the age of hiding is over." Across the galaxy, messages spread fast. Humans had returned. Dragons were not extinct, and together they were unstoppable. Evan watched the twin dragons rise into the sky. Once, he was just a scavenger. Now, he was the caretaker who changed history. The galaxy would remember this day, the day humans stopped running, and the stars learned fear.